Hey everyone, happy to see you guys. I hope everybody is doing very well and hopefully you will do even better after my video today. So the topic is why do Ukrainian and Russian women lie? So after receiving a number of messages and seeing things that some of you guys get confused, I've decided to make this quick, I hope, video for you to pay attention to a few reasons why our ladies sometimes can mislead you and kind of beat around the bushes and not tell you the truth. Why they don't show up on Skype, or why they seem to not have time for you, but yet they do not tell you that they aren't interested. So, reason number one. Somehow in our culture, they taught us that we would hurt men if we tell them the truth, that we simply aren't interested. For example, very often in Ukraine, when the girl goes out and somebody asks you for a phone number, she gives a phone number, but 5 out of 10 she has no intention to be in touch with that person. She has no interest in him. She just gave the phone number so he leaves her alone, and also not to supposedly hurt his feelings. So that is one of the things that we afraid to hurt, not afraid exactly, but we would feel bad about ourselves if we would be kind of rude or hurting someone's feelings, which makes absolutely no sense, but that's why I'm making my videos. So reason number two is when you have the person you really like, but you want to have a how to say this, a backup plan. So you don't know how things gonna work, or maybe you are in a stage where seeing few different people because you aren't committed, you just socializing, and you have no idea how things will turn out. So just an extra person interested in you, so you just keep them as a backup plan. I'm sure nobody wants to be a backup plan, that's obvious, but that's the reality, and of course guys do that too. So that's one of the reasons when sometimes I get questions like, oh, I'm corresponding with her, and sometimes she doesn't answer, sometimes she's very short, she answers are short, sometimes it's weeks and weeks in between our talks, but yet she doesn't tell me, oh, stop texting me. Some ladies who respect themselves or who are more mature in their mind, they would tell you, look, I like you, but it's or they would just say, look, I'm interested in somebody else, or it's not gonna work out, so the person moves on. But many of our girls or ladies that are more mature, they keeping options open. So please open up your intuition, guys, and your senses. Be a little bit more sensible. The lady in our country would not pursue you, but she will show interest. If she likes you, if she has connection with you, she will also use the opportunities to connect with you, whether it's a real meeting, like physical, or in Skype, because she would like your initiative, but she would be available at least for a significant amount of time, because she is interested in developing that connection, that relationship. Any excuses like I don't have time. My favorite one is my grandma is in the hospital. That's one of my American friends asked me back in Ukraine. He was like, This girl, she said her aunt is in a hospital, and now her grandma is in the hospital. That was a long time ago, and I was I wasn't sure even what to say because I was afraid to hurt his feelings, but I was just laughing. And so if she will tell you that babushka, or like you guys, it's funny because you guys always say babushka, but it's actually babushka. So if babushka is in the hospital, grandma is in the hospital, 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10, that's like a excuse. So you leave here alone. So, is there any other? Sometimes ladies also just do not know what they want. That's, I would say, probably number 3. So, kind of relates to number 2. Either when they have somebody that they are into, but they're not sure if that's gonna work out. And number 3, they have some certain limits. For example, they're not sure if that relationship will have any future because maybe despite of economical situation in political in Ukraine, they want to stay there. I have to tell you, living in your country isn't an easy thing at all. There is a lot of emotional attachment and social, your social level, because you can make maybe 3 times, 5, 10 times more money here in US, but maybe in Ukraine you had a high position or you were doing the work you love. So there are some ladies that are actually honest, they aren't players, and they just telling themselves, look, I like this man, but I don't want to get deeper into relationship because I am not ready to leave my country. And guys, sometimes you have to take their word for it. Also, with women, you can give some tries, because sometimes we want to see that you're serious. But when after a certain amount of time, maybe it's couple months, maybe it's 6 months, or you met in person and she tells you she's not ready to leave her country, take her word for it and move on. I totally understand how sad it can be, but believe me, the person that's meant for you is going to figure out how can they make it so they can be with you. You would be discussing options and way to make it happen. You won't be discussing why not. You would be discussing how to make it happen. So, not really a big reason to be super obsessed without it, because what I'm learning every time, relationships take 2. When it's one-sided, it's not fun. I'm talking about real physical relationship. I told you guys about unconditional love. That's different. That's a whole different topic. But if you thinking about living with somebody, building a family, and so forth, that's probably not the case. The person that do not see a possibility with you, they've already decided, and it's a good thing that they actually bringing it up and telling you about it. So number 3 is probably those more honest, more straightforward women that decided they do not want to leave their country because they feel good there, or maybe they have some attachments. Maybe they have kids, maybe they have parents. Well, and sometimes also this excuse can be used when the woman, this just doesn't want to have a relationship with you, but she tells you it's because of the country. The thing is, it really doesn't matter. You want somebody who wants to be with you, who doesn't need any convincing, who looking for every possibility to talk with you, to get to know you better. Somebody wrote a comment on my Facebook page that, we had almost 2 years of relationship where we couldn't be together for the most time, and it was hard emotionally and physically, even just having simple things like that couples take for granted, like hugging and cuddling and going for walks and having dinner together, not even mentioning the intimate part. But he said, with a good attitude, we got to know each other so well, number one. And number two, that going through hard time like that in the beginning of a relationship tells you a lot. It tells you that another person is committed, that they do, that you matter a lot for them because they agreed and followed through 2 year long period of long distance relationship, loving you, uh, taking responsibility. I mean, I would say taking, how to say this, responsibility for staying faithful to you and being in touch and developing very deep connection, because for 2 years it takes a very strong commitment and connection. And yeah, so you don't have to convince the person that is into you, that appreciates you, that have feelings for you, to stay in touch with you. You really don't. She will find, that person would find any possibility to be there. So, with that being said, guys, please be a little bit more aware, a little bit more cautious, and if somebody giving you a sign, instead of creating a crazy scenarios in your head, um, take the word for it. No is a complete sentence. Save your time and go for what you really want, and for somebody that is there for you. For real. Thank you.